What do you do when your business no longer fits your life? When that pressure to keep pushing starts to feel heavier than the passion that started it all? In this episode, I'm sharing the unexpected decision I made to step back from full time business and how saying yes to a Christmas casual job gave me so much more than just a paycheck. It gave me clarity, breathing room, and a whole new way of showing up in my business. If you've ever felt like your business was running you instead of the other way around, this one's for you.
Welcome to the Powerful Content Podcast, your go-to source for content creation, strategy, and business inspiration. I'm your host, Mel Daniels, content strategist, coach, and speaker, empowering women across the globe to grow their business with powerful content that connects, nurtures, and converts. So, if you're ready to create standout content that gets you noticed and remembered, or build an aligned audience who love you and are ready to buy from you, you're in the right place. I believe that content has the power to connect us all. It's up to you how you use it. Listen in for genuine and insightful chats with guests, as well as practical tools and strategies from me. It's so lovely to have you here. Let's dive into the show.
I acknowledge the Wongal people of the Eora Nation as the traditional custodians of the country that I am recording from today. I recognise their continuing connection to the land and waters. I pay my respects to elders past and present and extend that respect to all First Nation people listening today. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to episode 166 of the Powerful Content Podcast. Now, this week, I thought I'd just switch it up a little bit and share something that I've been alluding to for quite a while. I've mentioned it in a few previous podcasts. It's a bit personal, but I feel like it's time to tell the story so that we can begin to normalize the ebbs and flows that we go through in life. I also want to normalize seasons of life for you, especially if you're going through a rough patch right now. So this story started back in September last year when I bought Rowena Mabbott's Design Your Season workbook. And if you want to get a copy of this too, I'll pop the link in the show notes. But I thought that this was me simply supporting a beautiful friend of mine, but little did I know that it would actually be the catalyst in changing my mindset about things. I was feeling, and I guess the only way I can describe this to others is disconnected. I'm still not sure that that's the right word to use, but I love what I do. I love creating. I love my members inside the content effect. I love the freedom my business brings me, but I felt like there was something missing in my business. And laid on top of this was an increasing credit card debt and a traditional quiet season in my business coming up over that Christmas period. So I was kind of feeling a little bit of financial pressure as well, I guess. So eventually I worked my way through Rowena's workbook, and it really highlighted to me that I could sit in this feeling, how I was feeling disconnected, a little bit overwhelmed, or I could actually do something about it. Now, at the time, I had been scrolling through Seek, which is a job search website, for those of you who don't know, for Christmas casual jobs that my kids might have been interested in. My eldest at the time was finishing his final high school exams and would potentially have a lot of time on his hands. And the youngest, well, I guess I was just looking for a way of keeping her out of trouble over the summer holidays. So I thought to myself, well, why not apply for some of these casual jobs for myself? My need to be physically present on the family front was about to decrease significantly as the kids would be on holidays. So I knew that I would have the time. So I polished up my resume and templated my cover letter so that I could personalize it to each different job description that I applied for. And off I went. And to be honest, if I'm 100% honest, I really did not think that I would get anywhere, as I assumed that all of the employers out there would be absolutely 100% looking for younger bodies to fill their rosters, as they'd be cheaper to pay, especially over that busy Christmas period. But do you know what? Much to my surprise, I was asked to submit some videos answering questions for a retail job. And can I just say here that this whole job application process is so wildly different to when I was applying for jobs 20, 30 years ago. It is so vividly and wildly driven by technology. It's absolutely amazing. Anyway, at the same time that I got this feedback for this retail job, I was actually asked to go in for a group interview for a behind the scenes job at a retail store. And honestly, I almost didn't go as I was feeling so embarrassed that I just knew I'd be the oldest person there. But you know what? I asked my kids to try new things all the time. So I decided that I had to lead by example and I went in and guess what? I wasn't the oldest person there. I met another woman who was slightly older than me, but we both ended up being employed and becoming great friends in the process as well. So I was pretty chuffed that I had landed a job. I was disappointed that I didn't hear from the first job application as it was closer to home and in a store that I really, really, really loved. But after a few weeks, I realized that I had missed a call from over a whole week prior from the first job. And devastated that I'd missed my chance, I almost didn't call them up, but I called to apologize that I didn't get the message. And I asked if I was able to take the next step with them. And he told me that I had the job. So there I was with two Christmas casual jobs. I decided to keep them both until I really worked out which one I liked better. But spoiler alert, 6 months later, I was kept on by both employers post Christmas, and I'm still loving both of the jobs as well. This is a bit of a long backstory, but as a consequence, I went from working about 30 plus hours a week in my business to less than 5 within a couple of weeks. Now I'm averaging around about 12 hours per week in my business, and I've really taken my full time business to a side hustle. And do you know what? I'm 100% okay with that. And I know that in this current season of life, that's where I'm meant to be. And honestly, I am enjoying it so, so much. But I think in this process of downsizing my business, I've learned a few things, and I just wanted to share them with you today in order, if you know you're feeling these feelings or thinking these thoughts, that it's okay. It's okay to take your business from a full-time business to a part-time or even a side hustle or even to stop it altogether. But the first thing that I realized in taking these casual jobs is it really emphasized how much I love, 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 love helping people. Now, my purpose in life, and I know this, is to help others see how amazing they are. Now, I wrote a purpose statement back in 2019 when I was at a retreat, and I'm going to read you part of it here. I want to share my love and knowledge to inspire, teach, and encourage others, which will allow me to live a fulfilled and connected life. Now, I know throughout my life I've been able to live this purpose in so many different ways, but I've begun to lose sight of the fluidity of purpose and believed that my business was my purpose and it was my sole purpose and I had to focus everything on my business. But downsizing my business, I've reignited the realization, I think, that purpose can be fulfilled in so many different ways and all at the same time. So there's not just one path to joy. The second thing it's made me realize is how much I love connecting with people and listening to their stories. Now, I love doing interview episodes for the podcast, and I hope that you enjoy them too. But to me, face-to-face interaction is so phenomenal. Whether it's at my retail jobs, whether it's part of my business, whether it's whilst I'm gardening out the front and someone walks past and we have a chat, whether it's me walking my crazy dingo dog, whatever it is, it's that face-to-face interaction that really lights me up. So I got to listen to stories about how people came to Australia, what they're doing to get by, what their dreams are, and sharing their excitement for the future. It's truly, truly uplifting. And I've made some amazing friends in the process. And I know that if I didn't work my casual jobs, I would have missed out on meeting some really beautiful humans and listening to their stories firsthand. Now, the third benefit of downsizing my business is that it's given me confidence that I am not too old to learn new things. So I'm at that age when perimenopause symptoms kicked in and there's a reluctance to try new things. And the biggest symptom for me recently has been my memory. I used to remember everyone's name and people used to be so amazed that I could remember everyone's names. But recently I've been finding myself freezing or drawing a blank when it comes to matching faces with names. But I can tell you the name of every one of the 20 people that I work with in the retail store and double that behind the scenes job. I have proven that I can remember people's names, which is kind of cool. The other huge hurdle was learning new technology and systems. Now, I always embrace new technology, but I was so worried that I would break something or that I would be made a fool of in front of a whole group of people. But the good news is I haven't broken anything yet, but I have been put outside my comfort zone, which is not something I would have done if I was still just working full time in my business. Now, the fourth thing is that it has got me focusing on something different. They say that change is as good as a holiday, and for me, this certainly has rung true. Taking me out of my usual environment, i.e., my home, and taking me away from some of my biggest distractions like washing and cleaning has been amazing. The travel time to and from work and forced downtime as I've been so tired has really freed up some ideas for me and creativity. So, admittedly, I don't have the time to implement them all, but it just feels so good to be creative again and have that space and that different stimulus to be creative again. Now, the fifth benefit is that it has made me realize how much busyness was going on in my business. So, working the two casual jobs has really forced me from 30 plus hours in my business to about 12 now. But in the thick of things, it was often less than 5. So, this meant I had to do one of three things. I had to lean on my superpower of being organized and being prepared. So, I would write lists on the way to and from work, delegate chores to other family members, and have learned to meal plan like an absolute ninja. So, all of those things have really helped me cope with working less hours in my business. The second thing is I've had to cut out the fat. So it's amazing what you can achieve with less time on your hands. And it's Parkinson's law, right? That the work expands to fill the allotted time you have. So with more time, I would faff more. Now, when I spend time on my business, it's focused, it's strategic, and I get things done. This has also included taking a good look at my minimum viable content, which is the minimum amount of content that you can create and publish that feels doable and aligned with your time, energy, and resources. That also helps you achieve your set objectives. And I'm going to be talking about this more in an upcoming episode. But this really shifted my mindset of I need to do it all to what's truly essential. And then the third thing is I had to lean on my systems. So I am so thankful that I had a reimagination process in place for my content, as well as standard operating procedures. All of those things have really helped. Plus, the biggest thing is that I had a way to capture recurring income, and that was via Kajabi. So whilst I didn't have as much time to focus on promotion, I could still participate in things like bundles and sell courses whilst my focus was elsewhere. And if you'd like to know more about using Kajabi to make your first $100 in digital sales, make sure that you check out my new free resource, which I'll pop down in the show notes. And the last benefit is the health benefits. And I know this might sound kind of weird, but according to my health app on my phone, which I literally looked at before I recorded this episode, I increased my steps from an average of about 4,000 per day to over 10,000 per day. So being on my feet all day, moving, and probably the biggest thing is not being able to just pop down to the pantry at home at any time I felt remotely peckish or bored has meant that my fitness has definitely increased. I feel lighter, I feel better about myself, and I even had to buy myself a new pair of work pants as they became a little loose. So on top of this health benefit of extra steps, the extra income coming in has meant that I've been able to go back to something that I love so much and something that I've given up. And it was something that I'd given up when we moved home a couple of years ago, and that's lifting at the gym. So I've only been back a few weeks, but I already feel the change in my mental outlook and my physical capabilities as well. I can't wait. I cannot wait to be lifting heavy weights again. So that's the 6 main benefits that have come from me downsizing my business. I think that there's a lot of shame or even internal guilt or feeling like a failure when we let go of some or all of our business, especially when you think about the money, the amount of time and effort you've put into it and spent building it up over the years. But I want you to see that it doesn't have to be that way. It can feel joyous, it can feel good, and it can feel successful. And the best news yet is that I've actually paid off my credit card debt. So, if this episode has had you reflecting on your own season of life, I'm wondering how you could make your business feel lighter, more aligned, more financially supportive without burning yourself out, then I'd really love to invite you to go and check out Kajabi right now. I've been able to keep my business running in the background while working fewer hours because I lent into systems and recurring income, and Kajabi has been a big part of that. Right now, they've got a super generous offer of 3 months for $99. And if you sign up using my affiliate link in the show notes, you're going to get over $1,500 worth of bonuses from me to help you get clear and focus on what truly matters in your business right now. It's such a beautiful way to be able to honor your energy, make meaningful progress, and create income on your own terms. Now, as always, I'm going to sign off on today's episode with 3 reflection questions for you. Number 1, where have you been holding on to a version of success that no longer fits you? Are your expectations aligned with your energy, capacity, and priorities? Number 2 is, if you only had 5 to 10 hours a week to work on your business, what would you choose to keep? And what would you lovingly let go? I really want you to reconnect with joy and impact over focus on the busy work. And then the last question is, what beliefs or stories do you need to rewrite to create more ease, alignment, and joy in your current business season? I really want you to give yourself permission to rewrite that inner narrative about age, about capability, value, or what business should look like. Once you've had an opportunity to reflect on these questions, make sure that you head on down to the show notes for all the links mentioned in today's episode. And remember, this is your life. You get to decide on what stays, what goes, all within your own version of success. Talk soon.
Thanks so much for listening. That's it for another week. To get more powerful content in your life, make sure you're following along on socials. My handle is @meldbusiness. And just in case you're wondering, the groovy music for this podcast was created by Just Here on SoundCloud. I'd also be super grateful if you took a moment to rate and review this podcast so more amazing women like you can experience the power of content. And if you're like, hell Mel, stop talking, I'm ready to work with you now, here's how we can work some powerful content magic together. Firstly, come and join the Content Effect, my membership inspiring women with service-based businesses to ditch the content chaos and start creating stand-out content that gets you noticed and makes sales. You can join us by using the link in the show notes or just Google the Content Effect. The second way we can work together is via my one-on-one packages. We can create a sustainable content strategy or start to build out your client journey. It's up to you. Hop on over to meldbusinessservices.com.au/services to find out more. Until next time, have a beautiful week and embrace the power of your content.